What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Beat the Buzzer podcast, where we cover the hottest topics in the NBA. This is Jack here with my co-host Graham.
How are we doing, everyone? Welcome back. I'm excited to jump into the latest news of the NBA. So we're going to start out this episode by talking about the Lakers drama. Then we'll move into the Lonzo Ball injury, and we'll finish off with some of the trade rumors around the NBA as the deadline approaches.
And as always, we're going to keep ourselves to a time limit for each topic. So to start, we're going to go with the Lakers topic, which is all the drama in LA. They've been on-off this year, good games, bad games, but overall they've just been terrible. So we're going to give ourselves 5 minutes for this one. And Graham, you're good to go and start this one off when you're ready.
Okay, so as in their last 10 games, the Lakers have been playing okay. They went on a little 4-game winning streak. They beat the Blazers by about 30. Then they beat the Timberwolves by 5, beat the Kings by 8, and then the Hawks by about 15, 16. And they're just the most up and down team in the NBA. They lose to the Kings. After that, they lose to the Pacers, and they beat teams like the Jazz. So I don't really know what's going on. I think the age is getting to them, having like 6 guys above 35 years old. And then when you look ahead at the trade deadline, they can't really move many pieces because of all their contract situations and stuff like that.
Yeah, like we saw LeBron. I don't know if you saw his Instagram. He was like, "We will do better, Laker Nation." And then they beat the Jazz, and then you come out and lose to the Pacers the next night.
Right.
So they are very up and down. Like against the Nuggets, they were blown out. They lost to the Kings. The Grizzlies, I get that. The Grizzlies are a good team. But they've been all over the place this season. LeBron is 37 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What more can he do? He's playing MVP type level. Westbrook's been nothing. Westbrook was benched in the Pacers game the other night, which I thought was very funny.
He didn't talk to reporters after the game either.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I don't know who to blame. Do you blame the coach? Do you blame the teams, the people in the front office that put this roster together? And if you're doing that, then you're blaming LeBron.
Basically.
And a lot of people are like, oh, they'll get together when Davis gets back. But they were losing before Davis went out.
Right. And Davis was playing terrible.
Yeah, he's played soft. Like he had a couple games here and there. Oh, there's MVP Davis. No,
right.
He's been soft all season long. He has.
I think they just think that they can coast. I mean, you don't want to coast and be a 7 seed and have to play like the Suns in the first round again.
Yeah, you're in the West.
You will not win that series.
The top 4 seeds in the West are, I think, the top 4 teams in the league right now.
I think they are too. Yeah, because
you do not want to play them at all.
Yeah, and you can't trust a 22-year-old Malik Monk as your second option.
Oh, great.
And then a 38-year-old Carmelo Anthony coming off the bench as your third option. It's terrible. Anthony Davis doesn't want to play center for some reason.
He's just a big baby. LeBron played it better than he did in the 4 games he played center.
They went like 5-0 with him playing center.
Right.
But he wants Dwight Howard to play center. Like Dwight Howard should be playing bare minimum minutes for them. He's not very good.
Dwight Howard needs to get on a different team. I'll take Dwight Howard though. I would love. I want Dwight Howard on the Bulls.
I'm only saying he's not very good, so they.
Yeah, hopefully the Lakers hear this and they trade him to us.
Yeah.
Totally. I'll give you Cristiano Felicio from Brazil.
Yeah.
For Dwight Howard.
But yeah, they do not look like they are intact at all. They can't even look at the buyout market because they're over the luxury tax so high.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting. And we'll jump into a little bit of the trade rumors later,
and they're such a dysfunctional team. Like Westbrook, we all thought Westbrook would not work with that team, and they're like, and all analysts and people are like, if anyone can make it work, it's LeBron.
Right.
LeBron can't make it work, and he's not going to say that publicly, but he knows what Russ does not work on that team, and they can't get rid of him because he's getting paid $44 million a year.
Right.
So they're stuck where they are for at least the rest of this season. But I just don't see it getting any better. I don't know. They got a bunch of old guys, and on paper, you saw the offseason, the Lakers going to be good. But the youngest guy they have is their young guy they signed was Kendrick Nunn. He has not played at all this season.
And he just suffered another setback.
Yep.
So he's out a while longer.
And Stanley Johnson, who has been signed to 3 10-day contracts now, has been their second best player for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Behind LeBron. He has been the second best player.
He really has.
So they picked up a bum off the street, and he's playing better than Russell Westbrook, who is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly.
So, at this point, if you're a Lakers fan, I'm very sorry. Sucks to be.
When we saw it at the start of the year, we were like, who is going to shoot the basketball for this team? Yeah. We're like, Russ can't shoot. Davis is shooting like 18% from three this year.
Right, that was
is
a big
LeBron
shot.
your best 3-point shooter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Malik Monk was the other guy, but that's one shooter. And then they have Austin Reeves, that
That's
rookie,
one.
the white kid, but he can't play defense. He can play no defense.
No, he's right. So it's a very interesting roster that they've created, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't see them as title contenders anymore, even with the health.
I don't think anyone does at this point.
Everyone's
like, we'll figure it out, but they're not going to figure it out. It's over.
It's really dysfunctional looking right now. This was not my expectation for them or anybody coming into the year. No. If I had to give them a midseason grade right now, it would be an F or a D-.
Yep, just based off expectations alone.
Right.
All right. That is time for that topic. So we're gonna move into Lonzo Ball. He was diagnosed with a partial or small tear in his MCL or meniscus. Sorry, yesterday, and he's out. Woj said 4 to 6, and then Shams, like one of the reporters on the Bulls, said 6 to 8 weeks. So we'll go with 6 to 8. Just err on the side of caution.
I saw Casey Johnson said that there's potential for him to return before that 6 to 8 week timeline, but we'll see. Overall, it's not our biggest issue. I mean, we've just been getting crushed by injuries, but we have a loaded backcourt right now.
Yeah.
With guys like Kobe White playing his best basketball of his career. Io is breaking records every night. He's averaging
watching
18,
Io play
8,
is great.
4.
Especially being in Illinois, watching Io play is nothing better than seeing him play well.
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to my Indiana Hoosiers for last night's game. That was incredible.
February 5th, Illinois will come into your building and kick your ass.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah, okay.
But and we just got Caruso back too, and he came back and he was playing okay, but he's really a key piece for this team, and you could tell that right away. Once again, we still have no front court depth, which is really what we need. We'll get into those trade rumors a little bit later. The Bulls are doing their due diligence on some of the things, but we are fine in that backcourt. So we want Lonzo to rest. The All-Star break's coming up, so that'll help. Yep. And hopefully he comes back healthy after that.
Yeah, I think Lonzo's injury, it sucks, right? Because you want to get some continuity, but we saw what we looked like with Lonzo together, with everyone on the court at one time. And then we are now missing 3 starters right now. But on the bright side, Caruso came back Wednesday. You saw how big of a difference he made. Javonte Green will hopefully be back soon. You saw Levine. They're optimistic Levine could be back as early as next Wednesday. So, and after Milwaukee tonight, if we can somehow beat Milwaukee, that'd be great. But after Milwaukee tonight,
we'll see about that.
The schedule is 5 games against teams that are all like multiple games under 500.
Right.
And it should be games that are winnable even without some of our stars playing.
Yeah. I really think that Cavs win was huge for us.
Yep.
Just showing off our grit, I guess. Vooch had a good game, which is good. Markkanen killed us.
Well, they lost. I hate Larry Markkanen.
I think he's like 1-4 against us or something when he plays us. So
he puts up like the best stats, but then he can never get a win.
Right. So it's whatever. That 3 big lineup for them is really interesting. I think they should make a move for somebody at the deadline who's, I don't know, can actually naturally play the 3. Yeah, but you did just pay Markkanen $70 million. So
right, but Lowry can't defend the 3, so you watch him play, and he's guarding guys like DeMar DeRozan, and it's just hilarious to watch him just slip around the court trying to guard them.
Right, it's bad, and I think they know that. They have 2 really, really, really good interior defenders in Mobley and Jared Allen, who I think they should look to rebuild around more, but we'll see.
Yeah, like you said, having Kobe and Io right now in the backcourt as backups is huge. And if anything, that just gives us more chance to develop them and gives Kobe a chance to raise his trade stock if we're going to trade him.
Right. Because like I said before, it's at an all-time high right now. It's only going to get higher. It's looking like he's playing out of his mind right now.
He's shooting well. He's actually trying on defense too, which is
right. That's the big thing. He's playing decent defense. And at the start of the year, I remember even before we started this podcast, we were talking to each other. We were like,
we're hating on it. It was so hard to watch.
He can't play any sort of defense whatsoever.
He was
His
just running around
rotations
on
are
that in the
awful. He plays no help defense. His on ball, we thought he was too little, and now he's actually playing decent defense, which is amazing for us.
Yeah, I think Io being so good gave him the push that he needed to this kid's gonna come take my spot from me if I don't figure it out. And now they're both playing great basketball. So
yeah,
it's
really fun to watch.
And Lonzo, keep him out the 6 to 8 weeks. I don't want him getting hurt.
Yes, I think he made the right choice.
Stay out, and I want him to come back because the 6 to 8 weeks timeline would have him come back a couple weeks before the playoffs start. So that's when you make the final push to the regular season for seeding, and hopefully we go into playoffs full strength because our team hasn't been fully healthy in weeks.
Nope.
Ever since COVID happened, I don't think we've been fully healthy. So that's beginning of December. We have not been fully healthy.
Right. Actually, ever since the first 3 games, we haven't been fully healthy. But
oh yeah,
we expected that. I haven't really heard any news about Patrick Williams, which I think is a good thing.
I have heard
they were going to shut him down.
Schedule.
Okay, good.
His brace is off. He's getting shots off before.
I did see his braces off. Yeah.
I'm hoping that he could come back for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Again, don't aggravate any injury that he has right now. But if he is healthy and he wants to give it a go, because I know he does, having him in the playoffs, he would be our best defender, the best option against guys like Giannis and KD. Because trying to watch Alfonso McKinney guard Kevin Durant the other night was just brutal. And
terrible.
That is the time. All right. Trade rumors. We're going to take 10 minutes for this topic because there's a lot to talk about. The trade deadline is on February 10th at 3 p.m. usually it is.
Yeah, I think so. 3 p.m.
So as we get closer and closer, there's more and more rumors. I want to start off with Jeremy Grant because he seems to be the biggest star that will be traded this trade deadline.
I agree.
So the Bulls are interested. The Cavs are interested. The Pacers are interested. There's multiple teams interested. But Jeremy Grant also wants to be a star, the main focus, and he wants a fat contract. So It depends what he's willing to sacrifice. Does he want to win? Because if he comes here, we have to give up probably Kobe White, probably a pick at least.
Yeah. And I could see him asking for Patrick Williams. Yeah.
I will not be giving them Patrick Williams. At that point,
no, neither will I. Yeah. No shot. I think I'm already gone anyway. I think I'm out. And I think the Bulls front offices too, they're just looking into it and seeing what they would have to give up. Right. Because if Jeremy Grant comes here, he has to know he's not the first or second option, and he's fighting for that third option with Vooch.
Right. But with how Vooch has played this season, I think Jeremy Grant will be as consistent of a third option that you can get in the league.
I agree.
Because Vooch plays like he does against Cleveland, or he plays against like he does against Memphis the other night. It's give or take with him.
So I would like that. I think that would be good for Patrick Williams as well, but we would have to give him, what was it, 112 million or 120?
4 years. He wants 4 years, 112.
Yeah,
which is in the NBA these days isn't awful, but it's nowhere near good.
Very true. Especially for a player of his caliber, he's still only 26, so it's not terrible. Yeah. But still,
we need to sign Levine to the max this offseason still, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know what our cap space is looking like, but we're paying Vooch over 20 mil, DeMar over 20 mil, Lonzo over 20 mil, and he'll have to pay Zach over 30 mil once he gets the max.
Right.
So I don't see
probably be around
space for that. So it's a 1 year rental. Yeah. And the problem with the 1 year rental, if you give up good pieces and picks, is you have to win this year.
Right. And we still have Kobe White for another year or two. So
you don't have to give him that bad of a contract. You can give him a 4 year, $80 million contract.
Right. And other players that I'm looking for the Bulls do fit that kind of mold. I would love a Marcus Morris type of guy, one on the Clippers. I think he's really good. A little brute that we kind of need down low. He's 6'9".
Paul Millsap. The Nets part ways with him, and he'll be in the buyout market, which means that we don't have to trade anything for him unless someone else is willing to trade for him. But I think he's going to hit the buyout market, and we were the second option for him in the offseason this year. So I think we have a good chance to get him. I would love to get him. He's 6'10", 6'9" down there, right?
I think he's 6'9", yeah.
He's a big body. He can rebound. He's an average defender, but we just need people that can rebound, have some post game off the bench, because Tony Bradley's good, but Paul Millsap would be better.
Yeah, and Paul Millsap still has some game. They just have a lot of guys who kind of fit that mold, like a LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin
Right. They have
players.
two guys that are just like Paul Millsap is.
Paul Millsap has played one game in his last 10, and he had 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting with 10 rebounds.
Which is great.
Right. It's not bad at all.
If he gave that to the Bulls, that's great. On Brooklyn, he may need to give more, but here we don't need more than that.
Right. That works for us perfectly. Another person is Thaddeus Young. I don't know what his status is. I'm sure the Spurs would rather trade him than buy him out. But yeah. I think either way, he's probably gone. I would love that. I don't know what the
Spurs are doing. Thaddeus Young had a career year last year, and they are just barely playing him.
Right.
You know they want young guys, but I don't know. Thad Young played greatly for us last year. He was my second best player on our team behind Levine. He was amazing to watch. If we can get him back, I'd love him back.
I think that would fit in very well with us.
If he hit the buyout market, that'd be ideal.
Yeah, because you know he loves Chicago and he would love to come back.
That was the only piece. It's like, damn, we had to give that away to get the team we have now.
Yeah. Let's talk about this Russell Westbrook stuff.
Oh my God.
We were kind of talking about it before the show. The Rockets would trade for Russell Westbrook if the Lakers take John Wall and the Rockets receive significant draft compensation.
Yeah. No. Why?
I
Why would
understand.
you do that? That is a $4 million contract for a guy that cannot shoot the ball to save his life and who's been pouting on the Lakers for the past 10 games.
It's terrible. I think the Lakers
in Houston. He's just going to take minutes away from Jalen Green.
Right. And take shots away from him because you know he's going to chuck up shots.
Oh, if he's the main guy on the team, let me get these guys to the playoffs is what he's going to try and do.
And the Lakers don't have significant draft compensation. They just don't.
Unless you're going down 2027, 2028, but then you don't have picks for years.
Right. Also, so basically the Rockets view Russell Westbrook as the negative trade asset. Most teams do. But how much better does John Wall make the Lakers?
I think significantly better than they play right now. Wall has at least a mid-range jumper. His three-pointer has been improved since that's all he's really been able to do for 2 years is just shoot because he had his foot and knee injury or his injury. But he can pass just as good as Russell Westbrook can. He turns the ball over less. He
turns it over a lot, though.
And he still played well last year, too. He's not playing
right
now because Houston sucks. He doesn't want to be there.
Right. I agree.
I think a lot of teams will be interested in John Wall because he brings passing. He's an average defender now with his speed gone a little bit, but he's developed well. He's 18 points a game still, good passer, somewhat defend. And for the Lakers, that's all you really need.
Right. I agree. I think he's – I don't know. I think he's on the same level as Russell Westbrook right now. And I think Russell Westbrook's just in the light so much. That's why he's getting hated on. I mean, he's played terrible. This is the worst year of his career, obviously. But I don't know how much better the John Wall makes the Lakers. John Wall can't shoot the three either. He's a turnover machine. He plays defense as well as Russell Westbrook. I think they're the same type of player. John Wall can finish better. I think Russell Westbrook has been missing lots of layups.
I also feel like Wall has more of a personality that LeBron can mold better, while Westbrook is very stubborn. So if you're the Lakers, I think John Wall would fit better and he'd be willing to sacrifice more to win a championship, whereas Westbrook has always been known as like a stats guy who says he wants to win. I bet he does, but he wants to win because of him, not because of someone else.
Right. I agree.
And the Lakers need him just to be someone that wants to win because you have other guys that can get you there.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the Kings because the Kings have been all over the place with trade rumors.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Rashawn Holmes report right now. They are all over the place.
But they've been linked to
Sabonis,
Simmons. They want Domantas Sabonis. Who are they going to give up? Because they want to keep De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, which are their two best trade assets. But then how are you going to get anyone there? Buddy Hield's not worth everything that they want.
So Davion Mitchell hasn't been great this year at all. He's actually been.
It really depends on how much do you really want to give up and how much do you really want, because they are really just all over the place right now.
Right. I also think don't know. I think Rashawn Holmes is a good player for them. He's on a great contract. I would love him on the Bulls.
Yeah.
I don't know how much he would love to come off the bench because that's probably what he would have to do. He's only 6'10", so I guess he could play the 4.
Because Vooch can stretch
That's
the
a pretty big
so
lineup.
have a lob threat.
Right.
We'd see that to work.
Yeah, it's interesting. You want to go into this Joe Ingles?
Yes. So the Jazz want an Aaron Gordon type player to round out their team. They need like a wing defender that can also get you 15 points a game. And they said they'd be interested in moving Joe Ingles, which is a guy that I think multiple teams in the NBA would love.
Mm-hmm.
3-point shooter.
Multiple contenders.
Multiple contenders, right.
So what type of contender is willing to give up an Aaron Gordon type player? Which is when I think of that, I think of like who's available on the market right now. I think Jeremy Grant.
But then you have to trade Ingles to the Pistons. The Pistons, Ingles doesn't have a choice. But
right. The Pistons
does he really make the Pistons better? No.
Right. No. And the Pistons don't want to be better. They want to keep tanking, and they want a top 5 pick this year.
Right. So the Jazz would probably have to throw in more to the deal.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. That's really all they can do. It's either trade Joe Ingles for just another Joe Ingles type player that you think fits better, or add more to the deal because Ingles isn't good enough to get you an Aaron Gordon type player.
I don't think so either. And the Jazz don't really. I mean, it's an interesting thing because Joe Ingles has been great for the Jazz. I think he really spreads the floor for them. They led the league in attempts and percentage from 3 last year. I think he was a big part of that. He's a good defender too. I see him guarding like Damian Lillard sometimes when I tune into Jazz games and stuff, which is really interesting. But yeah, they don't really have that ball stopper type of guy. Their defense revolves around letting people drive, and then they have a defensive player of the year or 3-time defensive player of the year down in the paint.
But then you find Jokic in the playoffs, and there's
that will get exposed.
Right. So that's all the time we have for that topic right now. But trust me, as the trade deadline gets closer, we'll probably talk about this in every episode as more and more news comes out. So,
all right. So that'll be all for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the show and you want to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing. You can also follow us on Twitter at @beat_the_buzzer.
We also are going to be starting up a TikTok too. We just put some clips in there, right, Graham? Which is also Beat the Buzzer, just straight up, correct?
I think it's Beat the Buzzer, yes.
Yep. So if you guys want to go on there and follow there as well, that'd be great. And as always, if you guys want to leave a comment down below or have any topics that you'd want us to discuss in the future, please let us know. And that'll be all for today. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.